and give me an average. How many times did you guys post in October? 0.
On which one?
In general, so -1, 5, 0, right? So whenever I go to places and I ask this question, I typically get the same response, right? The tool is there, but nobody uses it. So one of the things that I learned from watching Gary Vee, which is one of my favorite marketers, is document, don't create. Now, what does that mean, right? All of us in here has decided to get into real estate for, maybe it's generational, right? Maybe you decided to be the one to pioneer change in your family. I think that one of the biggest missed opportunities is simply not posting. Why? Because it's free. A lot of us care about what people are going to think about us. They care about how we look, how we taste, how we smell, right? Like we're thinking about a lot of these things, and then the opportunity I think that people miss is they put themselves and they say, well, what are people going to think of me? When in fact, one of the things that my uncle used to always say to me is, how can I help? And a lot of it is selfish sometimes. Hey everybody, my name is Jordi, the $1 Million Photographer, and today we are speaking at Chase Bank on a panel of what you should do as it relates to branding in real estate. We're gonna have some amazing speakers lined up, home lending professionals, real estate coaches, and just veterans in the game. And I'm here to give my contribution on just what you should do in branding overall. A lot of people make the mistake and think that branding or marketing is a one-time thing. But the truth is that it's an ongoing, never-ending thing. You don't work out and stop working out when you get fit. It's a matter of how to maintain the physique once you get it. So when you're marketing, you have to put the work in. So it's daily habits, right? How many people did you, and I'm asking you guys this, how many people did you reach out to today? How many follow-ups did you make? How many pieces of content did you create and post? How many email newsletters did you send out? How many check-ins did you do to your past customers? A lot of people are measuring the amount of sales that they're making, but they're not measuring what they're doing to get those sales in the first place. So if you want to get success, I'm not telling you that you have to listen to me, but you have to make a concentrated effort to do the basics. Marketing, business, life is basic. We complicate it a lot, but what you need to do are very simple things. And there's 4 things that we do. 1, pick your ideal client, right? You need to know who it is that you want to work with. 2, you have to sell what they want to buy, not what you want to sell. And 3, you have to make yourself findable. A lot of people are trying to find their customers, but there are already people out there that are willing to buy what it is that you have to sell. You just need to figure out how to make yourself findable, and that is exactly what we're going to be speaking about today. So, guys, this is just the beginning of the journey, and I'm very happy to have you guys here. So, stay tuned for this video. Enjoy the vlog, enjoy everything that we put together. I don't know how they're gonna chop it up, but I'm sure it's gonna be great. And I'll see you guys in the next scene.
And so we have one of our featured panelists that has honestly helped so many people be able to grow their brand in a major way. Mr. Jordi, would you like to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here on a Saturday morning. A lot of my clients come to me and say, hey, Jordi, my ads don't work. My content isn't getting me any clients. And I'll ask them, well, do you have a CRM? Do you have a landing page? Do you have an automated email workflow or a process that is helping you to follow up with clients? So what I do is I help coaches, consultants, authors, speakers, high-level entrepreneurs, and real estate professionals create a full lead generation funnel so that you never have to worry about where your next client is coming from and how you're going to grow your business. So I help you create the infrastructure so that you can grow your team, so that you can create content that converts and get clients. And ultimately, if you do decide to walk away from the business one day, sell to a firm, or maybe you want to pass it on, you have the infrastructure in place to do that from a marketing perspective. So that is what I do all day, every day. I'm very passionate about it. I'm here practicing what I preach. I have my videographer Neko over there too, because I can't tell you guys about content and marketing and branding if I'm not doing it myself. So my insights are based on what I'm seeing with my clients, what I'm seeing with myself. I just use myself as a Frankenstein, so I test. I spend thousands of dollars experimenting with concepts and content so that I can bring you guys fresh first-person insights and not stuff that I'm researching. So everything is fresh from in the field so that you guys could benefit from that.
So let's give a round of applause for Mr. Jordi-Lakeem Foster. And fun fact, if you go to my Instagram, NYS_realtor, you'll see the last photo that I did, I think when I was talking about being a broker. That was courtesy of Mr. Jordi, who has honestly brought me into this new century, because I'll be honest with you, when I first met him and he looked at my headshot, he was like, what's happening? It was that typical realtor headshot where you're like leaning forward first and your head is to the side with like the little split part and a little bob, and it definitely wasn't giving. And so I was happy that Jordi took, not only took that picture, but several other ones, and he was able to help me with a marketing and branding shoot in the mean streets of Brooklyn on a brownstone. And kind of get me right. So I can honestly attest to not only the artistic vision that he has, but then also the way that he positions it so you look your best in any setting, so that way your presentation can be just what you want it to be to build business and your brand. So thank you, Jordi, for that.
Thank you for that, Aubrey.
How can a real estate professional or entrepreneur start building a personal brand that stands out in a crowded market? That's big.
Okay, that's a good one. So let me start by asking a question. How many people here are active on LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook? All right. And give me an average. How many times did you guys post in October? 0.
On which one?
In general, so -1, 5, 0, right? So whenever I go to places and I ask this question, I typically get the same response, right? The tool is there, but nobody uses it. So one of the things that I learned from watching Gary Vee, which is one of my favorite marketers, is document, don't create. Now, what does that mean, right? All of us in here has decided to get into real estate for, maybe it's generational, right? Maybe you decided to be the one to pioneer change in your family. I think that one of the biggest missed opportunities is simply not posting. Why? Because it's free. A lot of us care about what people are going to think about us. They care about how we look, how we taste, how we smell, right? We like we're thinking about a lot of these things, and then the opportunity I think that people miss is they put themselves and they say, well, what are people going to think of me? When in fact, one of the things that my uncle used to always say to me is, how can I help? And a lot of it is selfish sometimes, because a lot of us in here have good information and good stories, but nobody hears it. Right. And the thing about, there's 4 ways that you can attract leads, right? And this is what I help my clients with. 1, ads. 2, content. 3, outreach. 4, making partnerships, right? So we're in this room, so we're in like the partnership space right now. I've partnered with RB for like the last year, like doing her events. And one of the things I always try to do is to at least give people a push start by giving them a well produced headshot. So documenting is the first thing. Number two is figuring out who it is that you want to serve. So does anybody in here know Sirhan or Kiana Watson or $1 Million Listing or Grant Cardone? Why do we know about these people? Because they show up. And I think sometimes we don't think of the long-term cumulative effect of it. If you make one post today and it gets 10 likes, and then you make a post tomorrow, it gets 2 likes, some people like, man, they don't care about what I have to say. But guess what? In the cumulative of that is 12. So now instead of just 10 people one day, 2 people the next day, it's 12 people overall. So if you did that once a day, for 30 days, you will dramatically see different results in your business. So 1, document. 2, figure out who it is that you want to serve. So are you going to represent buyers? Or are you going to represent sellers? That's one of the major decisions that you have to make. Number 2, are you going to serve moms? Are you going to serve high-income professionals, doctors, lawyers, dentists that make $150,000 a year with 2 kids that want to transition into a bigger living space because a twin bed is just not doing it for the kids, right? You have to be that clear about your clients. Here's why. A lot of us, and based on what I hear, I know what the problem is because I talk to people about this all the time. You may not do... show of hands, do you struggle with what to write in the caption even though you have pictures and videos in your phone? Show of hands. Or do you just not know what to post? Here's why. You have to know who it is that you want to serve. When you know that, one of the easiest ways to start is to answer frequently asked questions. I looked at some of your Instagram pages. A lot of you posted about your listings. Nobody cares.
Oh.
And yeah, your real estate friends care, but your clients are looking for how are they going to make it through this next market cycle? How are they going to tackle 6 to 7% interest rates? The clients that have homes that were purchased at a low interest rate, and guys, don't kill me, I'm not a real estate pro, but some people, like one of my clients, when the economy crashed in '08, she was a realtor, she represented sellers. But what she ended up doing during that period of time was helping her clients restructure their mortgages. And that's not really her calling card. But as somebody of service, as long as you keep that in front, you will have no problem posting because you're going to be focused on the client, not yourself. And 2, it is going to give you an unlimited resource of unlimited lead generation, because one thing that people don't understand is the person you decide to serve, it shapes your offer, it shapes the places that you go, it shapes how you dress, how you talk, how you show up, the type of content that you make, and everything else. So those 2 things, document, don't create, and figure out who it is that you want to serve will really put you in a good position for that.
So there he goes, answering 4 of my questions.
Damn.
Give me Jacqueline, I'm gonna tell you.
No. Ask me the other one.
Yeah. Taking my job away from me. I guess I just have to wait until it's my turn to talk. Okay. So let me ask another question, because you really did answer 4.
I'll give a different spin to it.
No. Okay. All right. Okay. So what tools or metrics should we track to measure the success of the brand building marketing efforts, particularly on social media? So I guess you can just target it to Instagram specifically.
All right, so if we're looking at Instagram, there's two sides of the coin. It's easy to look at outputs, right? And outputs are number of leads generated, number of sales made, number of website clicks, etc., right? Those are leading indicators. And typically after the fact, those things are a good indicator as to what you're doing, but I like to push my clients to look at what the input is. So the input of marketing is typically how many pieces of content did you post a month? You have to measure that. How many people did you reach out to today, right? Like this week, how many calls did you guys make this week? I don't want a lot. You see, I need a number.
I don't know.
Right, like, so I need 30, okay, 30, right? Like I hear some, man, I gotta pull it up. If I could pull it up right now, I could answer you, Jordi, right? You wanna have a pulse on these numbers. So 1, how many posts did you make today or this month? How many messages did you reply to? How many inquiries did you get? How many people clicked on the link in your bio? And then you may also look at the likes, shares, comments, and views, because those things are indicators as to whether or not you're good. So everybody here knows TikTok, right? Every single platform has adopted the format of TikTok. And I actually looked up some statistics today that I think you guys would really value. And it's related to this, I promise, RB. Right? So Facebook has 3 billion users worldwide. And the highest traffic time on Facebook is 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now, out of those 3 billion users, only 10 million are advertising. So that's less than 1%. So people, like, yes, I know some of you are gonna leave and go buy Zillow leads, right? Or you're gonna go on Fiverr and pay somebody from India to scrape some leads and give it to you. That's great. But Facebook ads, and I'm not talking Google ads, Facebook ads right now are one of the biggest missed opportunities in here. And I've been talking about this for over a decade. It is one of the best opportunities. So what you should track, your inputs, what you're doing, because that is a faster indicator on your results. How many, like, if you're getting like 200 views per post, you're just not good. And it's okay. And it's feedback for you to tweak your message. One of the things that you can do, you could go to somebody who's doing what you want to do, look at what they're doing, and steal their topics and put your personality on it. All of us are talking about the same thing, right? Like, but nobody has my style and experience to it. So if you measure those things, the after indicators of how many leads you generated is one thing. How much did it cost per lead? What is the sales cycle? Is it 30, 60, 90 days? That's typical in most industries if you're in services, because I don't market products. You want to also measure what the cost per acquisition is, meaning if you spend $100, get 10 leads, 2 become a client, it costs you $50 to get 1 client. That's a very important number to know when you're scaling your marketing team, because if you know how much it costs you to get 1 client, in theory, you can spend an infinite amount of money on ads, and that's what we've been doing for one of our clients for the last 4 years. He's never run out of business since the pandemic, and it's because we have a very clear pulse on what these numbers are. So look at what you're putting in. You should look up both, but what you're putting in typically is a sharp indicator of what you're getting out of your marketing.
And to piggyback on that also, one of the things that I know that I pay attention to, even on my Instagram, which was organically grown, right? I look at the insights. That insight button is very important. It tells you when the people that are tuned in or following you, when they're actually looking at you. It tells you whether it's women, men. It tells you when you're getting the most clicks, all that stuff like that. So you can kind of tailor even when you go live. I'm a go live person. I just like how you said documenting what's happening. So I know a lot of my users historically go on more so between 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. That might not mean the same thing for you. You have to look at your insights. So when I post something, I post in the morning because I'll get a better response than if I post in the afternoon. Also, I can post in the evening because some of my followers also kind of chime in around that time as well. So look at your own insights just to kind of get a feel for when people are actually tuning into you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My name is Quinn Shear. Hi, everybody. I was specifically listening to you when you said about the 200 views. So I'm an artist, and for a while, I've been doing it probably for like last 5 years, and for a while, I was getting the 100, 200 views thing, and I didn't know about the insights. And so I was like, I ain't really doing my thing, I ain't getting no traffic and stuff like that. And it kind of was like making me not very hard, right? Yeah. Until I got on TikTok and I was able to see that they had the viewers, and then I was like, hold up, I got 20, just while we've been sitting here right now, I posted 4 videos, I got 19 countries who just watched that. But none of them is more than 200 views. So you have to be able to look into the insights and target your audience. If you hit somebody else, then that's fine. But as long as you get your quota and the people who rely on you and things of that nature.
And I'll add to, sorry.
Go ahead.
I'll add to that too. Depending on the industry that you're in, views are relative, right? So I sell B2B. My videos are not entertainment, Cardi B style, Mr. Beast videos that are getting hundreds of thousands of views. My videos get maybe like 500 because they're very niche. I had a guy from Texas call me 2 weeks ago. He makes $20,000 a month. He was up at 10 p.m. researching how to build systems in my photography business. And he found one of my videos, he watched it, he downloaded the free training, he watched the training, booked the call, and then said, Jordi, I make so much money, but I need help, and what you said in the video made a lot of sense. So YouTube, second biggest search engine in the world. And if you're posting things, so going back to answering questions that people have, if you're answering questions that people have in your content, views are one B2B or niche view for your client is worth 500 regular views. So it depends on what your end goal is. My end goal is to get clients.
Yes.
So I don't care about 1,000 views if those don't convert.
Right.
I care about if I know my target KPI for the month is I need to get 20 clients in order to maintain my team, my employees, and my staff, and to also reinvest in marketing. So I know that once I hit that number 20, I can reverse engineer from there. So it depends on what the goal is, because if your goal is to just share the art, then maybe 200 views is good. But if your view is to like touch as many people as possible, then the numbers aren't reflecting that. So that's a really good point on the insights.
So one last question. What common branding and marketing mistakes should real estate professionals or entrepreneurs avoid when starting out, and how can they correct them if they've already made them? Okay.
I'm gonna say something and I want you to finish the statement for me. J.G. Wentworth, 877.
Stop. No. Okay.
All right, right? What color is Netflix?
Red. Red. White.
All right? What color is Disney? Right? Last one. When you think of Apple, you think of? Like Apple the company. When you think of Apple, you think of?
The phone, iPhone.
iPhone, the person. Who's the person you guys think?
Steve.
Right? You guys did not say Steve Wozniak. Here's what's important in branding, right? 1, consistency. 2, having a clear message. 3, having a long-term vision. A lot of professionals here will think that your brand is just a logo.
Can you repeat the branding?
Yeah, like I repeated. Thank you, sir. You're a good citizen. You're a good citizen, sir. So, and I have a few points here so I don't go off on too much of a tangent for you guys, because I will talk about this all day.
Yes.
But thank you, Harvey. Right, like she know me. I gotta stay in the bucket because I will talk. So 1, your brand is typically gonna be built around who your ideal client is. So when Apple made a decision that they were gonna tackle the PC market, they decided that they were gonna target the creative professionals, not the enterprises at first. So that's shaped their entire strategy. So 1, you have to know who you serve. 2, you have to figure out what your brand personality is gonna be like, right? So are you a person that likes comedy? I like comedy, Jacqueline loves comedy, so we're gonna laugh our way into that bank book, right? Right, joke, but true, right? You have to figure out what your style is. If you're a person that loves to give straight up information, you do that. 3rd, visual consistency. If you don't remember anything, your brand is not your logo. Your brand is not your logo. A lot of us are gonna leave here and be like, well, my logo is nice. It doesn't matter. What matters is that your logo appeals to who you wanna work with. So it's there's 2 general sections of branding: your visual part of your brand and the strategic part. So your visual, Arby, how much longer I got? Like
30 seconds.
All right, 30 seconds, right? Visuals. the logo, the colors, and the fonts. The strategy is your message, who you're serving, and how you're saying it, and how you help them get there. And then 4, you want to have a content strategy that is typically based around providing whatever your target audience deems as value. So those 4 things are the mistakes that if you don't have those, it's going to cost you a lot in the long run.